December 26th. I was back and yet I felt awkward. It was strange. I felt out of place. But I was happy, surrounded by familiar sights and faces in a place I truly missed. The house remains as we left it. The river smells the same, and the rains are retreating as the winter season begins. A little over a year ago, when I first arrived in Cambodia, it was much different. I had come with no expectations. I still remember the drive from the airport. My eyes were red and tired, yet wide open in wonder as the scenes of daily life unfolded before me. Streets congested with people, seat-closed motorcycles, and a few cars. Rows and rows of corrugated tin houses lining the roads from which the occupants watched in a dazed stupor. Once when we went to the central market in Phnom Penh, we came upon the egg sellers. Steamed eggs, fresh eggs, raw eggs, pigeon eggs, all sorts of eggs. They were even selling freshly cooked eggs, except these eggs were black and had been allowed to mature into an almost fully grown chick that was about to hatch. Young children sat around happily gossiping to each other while spooning the steaming embryo into their mouths. Next, the birds who had laid the eggs. Sparrows cooked whole, chickens split in half, barbecued on a stick. Live birds of various types, including parrots and mima birds. They had small finches that you could buy and set free, bringing the liberator good luck and fortune. Back in Canada, I had received a letter from one of my Khmer friends. In the letter, he had described how the village I had lived in had been attacked and the villagers had fled. As I read the letter, I thought to myself, I must return to my old village and see for myself what the situation is. I made it to the provincial town, Siem Reap. There I met several of my friends from Srei Snam, the name of my village. They were now staying in the provincial city and told me that I would not be able to go back to the village because the situation was very bad. Later in the day, I ran into the police chief of Srei Snam. I asked him about the situation in the village, and he too told me it was unsafe to go. I asked him about Sopoon, my neighbor. He pretended not to understand, told me that I should not worry about Srei Snam. He told me to relax, enjoy Cambodia, go and see the temples. took the chief's advice. I toured the temples, but I could not stop thinking about Sopoon. She had lost her father and 2 brothers to war. Still, Sopoon was very friendly and always happy. During my stay, she had provided me with firewood for cooking. She had tended to me when I was sick, and she had looked after my house when I left the village. I found out one day she had never visited Angkor Wat. Visiting the temples was good luck for Cambodians. I decided I should take her there. She put on her best clothes and we left for Angkor Wat. We climbed the steps to the summit of the most famous temple. A monk was seated beside the Buddha telling fortunes. Sopoon sat before the monk and motioned me to sit next to her. He told Sopoon that she would live long and have 5 children. Sopoon was excited with what she had been told, except for the part about the children. Sopoon lit some incense, we bowed our heads, and we offered thanks to Buddha. I lived with the people for a year. I learnt their customs and I learnt their language. Yet the more I learn about the people, the more confusing it becomes. How could a country so beautiful have so many problems? It was easy to ask why. I never learned why.